Lastly, we've dabbled in the waterfront concession world this summer with Eleanor's Pier. We were very, very happy when Riverwalk Bar and Grill took the lead in creating what they called Pier NYC 2 years ago in 2012. We were disappointed they didn't do it. We wanted somebody to do it, so that became us. So as sort of a loss leader, we've been writing the checks to create Eleanor's Pier this summer. And it started out slow and has actually gotten better every weekend. We've learned some things. We are not now open on Friday afternoon until 5 o'clock because nobody's there on Friday at noon. And again, like retail, success begets success, activity begets activity, and vendors will come if there are bodies and people buying grilled corn and lemonade, and if nobody's there, they're not going to be here in late August. So we've had more vendors, more activity, more people breaking even or making money. We were just there on Friday. Hudson had a little summer party, and it was delightful. It's hard when the sun is high up, so it's nice to have the umbrellas. As it gets a little later, it's a fantastic place to be. The space sells itself. I would encourage everybody here. Okay, raise your hand if you've been to Eleanor's Pier. Okay, so I would say to all of you who have not raised your hand, if you take the time to come to a REOC board meeting inside the Child School Auditorium, for goodness sake, take the time to go to Eleanor's Pier Friday, Saturday, Sunday, buy grilled corn, buy ice cream from Coach Bobo, and support your local waterfront concession. And our request to REOC, the second Eleanor's Pier shuts its doors for the summer, which will be in mid-September. It is September 21st, our last day. We'd like the opportunity to do it right next time. And whether it's us or anybody else, it doesn't have to be us. We are developers. We're not in the business of waterfront concession. This has been a fun loss leader / distraction for us. And I'm not pretending that we're just completely altruistic. We think having a great waterfront concession here is great for business, great for Riverwalk, great for Roosevelt Island. So it doesn't have to be us. It will be us if nobody else wants to do it. But what I would strongly recommend in the fall is for REOC to RFP a 5-year long-term RFP for a waterfront concession that will allow the lessee to build an actual structure. Because what that space needs is a year of planning so that you can get a liquor license, because it takes that long. And Eleanor's Pier would be a lot more successful if along with your grilled corn you could have a margarita or a beer or a glass of Chardonnay. And we tried to do that, and we looked at every different option, and we didn't have enough time to get a liquor license. What we did have enough time to do was to get a special liquor license, which you can only get 4 days of in the course of the summer. So we had somebody get a liquor license for 2 days. Their first day was July 4th. It poured. Nobody bought their alcohol. They lost money. It was very discouraging. So it's hard to make money if you're just there for like a specific amount of time. You need to build momentum. You need to get the word out. And one of the reasons we did it this summer was to build momentum. So now people know the name Eleanor's Pier. It was in magazines. It's in blogs. Like, we barely existed, and a website wrote up, top 20 places to go this summer. One of them was Eleanor's Pier. It didn't even exist at the time. So to the extent that it becomes a taco stand where you can get a taco and a margarita, or it becomes a structure. We don't know what it would sell, but to the extent that there's a place where you can store a cash register and your goods, and you don't have vendors who have to build up and break down every day. That's the way to do it successfully. So I would encourage REOC to do an RFP to encourage that very concept. And I think that if you build it, they will come. Because as we all know, Roosevelt Island is a great hidden secret, not so secret anymore, for New York. And that for all the tourists who come and go to the FDR Memorial and don't know what else to do, never wander up Main Street. And we're going to get to, I forgot to talk about kiosk signage. We'll talk about that as well. This would be something to keep them on the island. It requires time to figure out how to build a space that doesn't drive everybody crazy because it's an actual shed. and it's got to have running water and power and just dealing with utilities. The whole thing, it could take at least a year to put the whole thing together. But I would strongly recommend it because the alternative is doing what we're doing now or what Riverwalk Bar and Grill did 2 years ago, and it's not a particularly sustainable model. And the reason Riverwalk Bar and Grill didn't do it, again, was because they lost money. And you lose money when you have to have security keep an eye on things because you can't secure them, and you have to do everything every day in a Sisyphean manner. So that would be my, I use that actually correctly. That's it. Finally, on the kiosk front, we've been at this forum many times and talked about the idea of signage and again, sort of like Eleanor's Pier, we're sort of taking the lead, and if nobody else is taking the lead, we're happy to take the lead. So we had this idea that Main Street retail should have a wayfinding signage, and we're doing it, again, not for altruistic reasons, because it would help the retail tenants who are paying us rent, that when you get off the tram and you get off the subway, there's a wayfinding system that says, go this way to Christie's and Trellis and Main Street Suites. And then once you're approaching Main Street, let's say it again. And then when you're at the Chapel of the Good Shepherd, it would be good to reinforce where everything is. And we were looking at it from the myopic view of retail, but it should be island-wide, and it should tell you where Lighthouse Point is and where the 6 landmarks on the island are, and how to get to the new Cornell campus, and how to get to the South Point Park. So we came up with some proposals. We shared it with the REAC board, and now we have some more specific proposals that I guess we will give to the REAC board to take a look at, which is our suggestion is for us to share the design cost. There's no real rational proration whether it should be 80-20 or 50-50. We just suggest 50-50. We'll pay for 50% of the design. It's to design something that's akin to the London wayfinding signs, and that after the design is done to everybody's satisfaction, we would take the lead and pay for the first few for the Main Street corridor, and that if everybody likes them, then that would be great for Main Street retail, and then it would be up to REAC to decide if they wanted to go with it and use the same model to sprinkle them all over the island. It's not our job to have them at the FDR Memorial and Lighthouse Point, but it should be the same wayfinding system that's throughout the whole island. So we will, can we bring a bunch of copies? All right, so we'll give copies to the board for you to take a look at. I don't think it makes sense in public meetings to sort of go over the details like that. Ariana, can I do anything else today? We got to relate to the remarks. All right, so I'll open it for questions now.